What's up, everybody? It's a special episode of Enlightened Masculinity, maybe never to be posted. So here you hither are, right hither. Listening. Jaime, I can see my words flying into your ears right now, into your brain and nervous system. Pretty dope, actually. It's not because I just smoked weed. It's actually because that's what I have an eye for. At least that's what I convinced myself of. Guys, welcome. And girls also. And if you're catching this recording, if this is posted, then you definitely want to follow, subscribe, and leave a review. This is post-cap, the Freedom Congress, and the Instagram Influencers, Models, and Bottles party yesterday at Fuse Lounge in San Jose. I live here in San Jose with AZD, Rastafari Bazaar, number one lifestyle philosopher on the planet. It's pretty dope, actually. Just made that title up. I think it's pretty accurate. And damn, fucking Instagram ended my video again. I swear, at this point, I'm thinking Instagram's doing something to me. Why would I keep? Maybe my phone needs update. That's probably, see how I go paranoid right away. It's probably more the phone. And that's how it happens, right? Okay, welcome Instagram. Hopefully this lasts. It stays up. Zoom link is in the bio. So the post cap. Let's see. While we're here, while we get started, we have people online and they may be even boarding planes and things and traveling. So is there any comments or questions about the gathering that could get us started, and you can get your 2 cents in while you're here also? Just unmute. Start with the guys that were here in person and then guys that were online, because it was a Freedom Congress was the whole training. It was very powerful training. Now's your chance. All right. So where do we go? Where do we go from here? What would I talk about? You all showed up. You wanted to hear me say something. What'd you want from me? See, I turned that on you. Flip it on its head. Nice for what? What's up? Nice for what? Winner, champion. That's the winner champion of the Instagram Influencers, Models, and Bottles party. Welcome. Okay, so nobody's got anything. Okay, what about the online guys that were at the Freedom Congress?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how does it feel to communicate so freely? Because I saw just from this morning's lecture, from the gathering of this morning, like I can just see the way that you're communicating and authentically expressing yourself in every moment. All I can say is it's impressive. So I want to know, what's that like?
It's a continual process of creating the vibe, the experience, using the technology I have learned, and most recently the communing with nature. But there's a lot of things that I'm learning from that that are becoming my own. I swear to God, that I am really interweaving my mind and perceptions with nature. And I'm still so new and young at this. I'm 35 and I'm like, I feel like a month and a half year old or whatever. Does that make sense? Because I just started this thing that is, it's so honestly, when I'm out there doing my communing with nature process, a lot of times the thought comes to me, I wish this is all I could do. I wish this is all I had to do. I just wanted to keep doing this infinite. The only problem then is like food. And I start looking around like, what could I live on if I was here? And I realize it's really sparse out there. But sometimes I just want to think, all right, I think, how long could I stay here? Like if I just planned out my afternoon, dude, I'm tripping out there, man. And I am not smoking weed when I'm out there doing that. I was in the beginning, but there's something about the practice that has cleaned my senses or cleaned my perceptions. And as far as freely communicating, I see that and I'm real excited about it because it comes out freely, naturally, but it's like, so remove blockages, that kind of thing. I don't really see them as blockages, but there was through the processing of the experience, processing it, more just comes out. So, as long as I stay tapped in with that vibe, then the expression comes out. So tapping in with the vibe happens with the technology. The technology it started with the beasting process for me. Technically the beasting process, because up until then I was just studying like philosophy of it, this and that. AZD and all the products and coming in person. And so probably that information was very invaluable to the change that happened in me. And also the introduction to the concept of a fourth wall, which I applied right in the beginning of the beasting process when I would work out in the parks. People would walk by, I put up my fourth wall. Right on, right on, right on. All right. Any more? Even from the same guys, always.
Well, I just wanted to expand on what you said. I love how you emphasize that you're creating the vibe. It's a continuous creation. It's not a holding on to a certain vibe that you had at one point. It's not a stressful, like, oh, I have to hold this. I have to be attached to this identity or this feeling. It seems more like you're able to just create what it is you want. And whenever you're going off target, it's okay. Just realign. So it's beautiful. I love it. I can see how you, all of the tribal leaders, everybody that's highly involved with this, they're so organized in their beingness. And to be honest, man, I can see how it brings sanity to the group, to myself. And I'm sure it does that to your environment, like the people you speak to. It's cool.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else? Big live audience. Just got bigger, keeps getting bigger.
Yo, yo.
Most incredible. Hey, what's up? So on Arslan's phone is Matthew Trobshaw, because they're both downstairs in base 1, San Jose here. Matthew's about to do his private moment. I think your friend is here too, right? You brought him in?
Yeah, my friend Sean, he did some work for Circus Olay. He's an acrobat.
Dope, dope. That's really cool.
Yeah. And so I didn't quite hear the question. It's just, I'm just expressing what I experienced last night.
Yeah, and who's Octavio is on too. Octavio, I think, was here. Yeah, well, I mean, if you what it was, do you have any comments or questions? Basically, this is my postcast. If you had any comments or questions.
Yeah, what became apparent is, I think you had mentioned it, Yogi, is you could really measure yourself by being in that environment. When we're in our own environment, a lot of times we're like fish in the water. We don't always see it, but when we get placed in a different environment, we can get a more accurate measurement of where we're at. And what I registered was that everybody is super solid last night. Like, we all have the character, we all have the base, we're all good. And it's almost like a progression would be like less tension and even more ease and even more naturalness. Like, I realize there's nothing more I need to do. It's just a process of unlearning. I've noticed a lot of tension last night with the mind chatter around my eyes, but everything that I needed, like, to say or do was available for me in the moment. And so I think everybody conducted themselves very well last night, and the girls were having a good time. They were appreciative of the things we were saying, and it sounds like a lot of people the questions were based on character. So they got you got to share your philosophy, and it seemed like it was very appreciative. So that was like cool to see that, like, those girls, all you have to do is talk about your philosophy. And that's like a huge DHV, like, in and of itself. I didn't know that how much of a DHV that can be. Character.
How so? What are you noticing about your character that is DHV?
Okay, so, like, I was just being authentic. at one point in the night, I just made the decision that I'm not going to try to impress any of these girls. I'm just going to be 100% real. And I was sharing some of my philosophy and my character, and I could read certain things about the girl. And I was like, you know, underneath the makeup and stuff, I can tell you're a total tomboy. And she was like, oh my gosh, how do you know that? All of these perceptions have been available this weekend. And just sharing some of the stuff I've learned about the mind. Like the chicks were just like, oh, really? Oh my gosh, that's so cool. But it was like genuine. And I was surprised to see how much of an impact that realness had on them. Just really the reaction was like, I did not expect that. They were like,
and a lot of these girls,
like, what's
that?
A
lot of these girls are from the club Friday night.
Yeah.
You know, and what was your conversation with them Friday night compared to Sunday night? You know, and any interactions you may have gotten. I don't know, like, you know, maybe you didn't interact with the same girls, but if you kept going to the club on Friday nights, you would see eventually you'd interact with the same girl in her workplace versus she's hired to be a model over here and get some interaction. And over, it's a reasonable rate. And for the promotion we get and for the experiences we get, because we get away with a lot, you know, when you pay the girl, you also get a lot of leverage over her. Not like sexually or anything, just like, you know, she has to put up with you correcting her. And if you make sense enough, because a lot of the bitches wouldn't take a correction long enough to get to the point of the conclusion that they get so butthurt and triggered on the way that they don't give you time to fucking hear the conclusion. Maybe the guy doesn't have ultimate godlike finesse that in one word could correct a girl and enlighten her, and so her soul is free. No, it takes a lot of conversating for that. So, but to do that, she's got to be soft, and to the world, she's hard because of the way the world has treated her and her fucking stupid ass job that her stupid ass chose. So, you know, you're interacting with the girl that's hired, but over party after party after party, these girls are deeply becoming influenced by deep wisdom and philosophy that even if nothing ever happens with them, because that's not the point, it's goodness, it's order, it's, you know, just magnificent understanding of, you know, whatever you were saying and what you were sharing about philosophy. You're putting goodness into their mind. That's going to carry on to a lot of these women are moms.
Yeah, it was like the female. It was like the female version of like what the guys feel in the class, like those aha moments of like their mind expanding. There were a lot of those. Like it was, you could tell that you were giving a being freedom, and that felt so good. And a lot of it I can't take credit for because it was the questions at AZD. It was the way you guys set everything up, man, for that to happen effortlessly. And that's what I realized is how much of the game is in the setup. And just like I realized at the strip club, like how much you guys actually, how many bricks it took to build that house, so to say.
Right.
You know,
and then you see that, you know, how amazing would it be? You know, sometimes there's like puzzles or something that's so complicated, but then when you see how someone solves it, you're like, oh, that makes sense. I could do that. Yeah, but you had to solve it. Like, what if you saw the pyramids built and you're like, oh, that made sense. Now I get it. But before you saw it, you're like, that's not possible. How'd they do that? Like, but then when you see the alien dude or whatever with his tractor beam or something, you're like, oh, that's how it, and then you don't even think about it anymore. You're like the pyramids. It's not even a mystery to you anymore. You know? The game is kind of like that.
Yeah. It's super cool just hearing AZD while he's having all these women around him in the strip club just say like, hey, man, when I came here, I didn't know any of the girls, and I started out buying dances from them and literally just getting to know them.
Yeah.
It just shows you like, yeah, all this incredible stuff is built on incredible work ethic and brick by brick and patience and discipline.
And standards. I think because you could get a girlfriend for like what you're looking for in relationships is going to take a sort of freedom in your system, because money can't be such a static thing. Goodness can't be such a static thing. Generosity can't be such a static thing. This is what AZD teaches and demonstrates when you're out. And just the other day, here's what I did special for you guys here and girl. That's yeah, 2 girls. The bouncer got stiff when 14 of us rolled up to the club. Whatever. I mean, he works for her, the owner, and does his job. the tribal council, it's the Cervantes brothers, Mr. Guerrero, and myself, stepped out front, almost with Monster, actually. It was very, it's like there. And we're having a deep logical debate, like Stoics out on the porch. And, just determining what's within our control and what's not is basic Stoic conversation. And when it's done 30 minutes later, I knew I was going to tip that bouncer. Oh, by the way, in the meantime, the owner had come out and was talking with me, this and that, and I got her number. And not in any kind of romantic way, I'm going to send her pictures of good promotion pictures for her club. And so the other tribal council goes in, and I'm the last one, and I stay back to the bouncer, and I had folded up the 20. I was going to hand it to him. I said, "Here, man." Smile on my face. He's like, "No." He was all face tatted and everything. No. He puts his big smile. All of a sudden, mean guy went to a big smile with prayer hands in his chest. No, man. He was like some kind of, I don't know what he was, Filipino, but like almost like, who's that blonde guy from Street Fighter, the military guy?
Guile.
He was like Guile, but a Filipino version. With some tats stuff too. And he's no, man. And then he kept refusing. I was like, really, why? Looking back on it, it's kind of ridiculous. He's like bigger than me, tougher than me. I was out front by myself. But I was like, why, man? And he was like, man, there's lots of homeless people around, or people. There's no. He says there's lots of people that could use that more than me, something like that. At this time is when I noticed one of his tats was a cross right next to his eye. So I said, all right, man, I get that. That makes sense. And I look left and I look right. And I hand him the 20 again. And I say, you're probably going to see more homeless people than me tonight. Maybe you'll give this to them for me. He said, all right, man, for that, I'll do that. And he took it. And I put my hand on his shoulder as I walked in and I said, amen.
That's so cool, man. It's, yeah, the smoothness you guys have with the communication. And it's like, you make sure, like you have a way of smoothly making sure that the message gets across, that it's received, that it's acknowledged, that it's responded to. Like if you were to ask somebody a question for them to open up, you make sure that that question gets answered for that effect to take place. And just, man, having the foundation of good ethics like you have, coming from that good place of win-win, like, and having the logic behind it to explain why this is actually the right thing to do. It's like an offer that, it's almost like everything that comes out of your mouth is an offer that nobody can refuse because it's the best decision.
You're very intelligent. I like how you're describing this stuff. And I want to add on to what you just said, that you can't please everybody. And there's going to be evil people. And there's counter agendas because people just don't know you. And so they have their own group agenda before they get to know you. And so you sometimes butt up against that. And, so, but everything else, I mean, I agree with what you said.
Yeah. And I would, and that makes sense. And I'll also say that in those situations, typically like people like that have made me leave the interaction feeling smaller about myself and less certain, right? Kind of giving me mud. But I can see how the way you conduct yourself, even in those situations where you face one of those people, you still leave the interaction clean and with your ethics intact, solid, because you know you did the right thing on your end.
It's dope. It took me years of studying AGD, IMC before I got into ethics. So I still read it. I haven't gotten through the book yet. Keep starting it over. All right. Any other comments or questions? Open to the whole audience.
seeing everyone's transformation. Damn, there's hell of an echo. Seeing the way that everyone's transforming via the communion with nature, it's probably one of the most inspiring things in my life, because it's one of the closest, if not the closest things I've seen to like a superpower, an accessible superpower that you can find in yourself, but you unlock it in nature. See what I'm saying? Like it's a practice that if you commit to, there's nothing but gain. So I just want to say it's inspiring.
Cool. Yeah, the steps to get there is come do private moment, do it enough that you graduate the private moment and get the communing with exercise. And then apply it and move yourself along the straight line of enlightenment here. Anybody else? Comments, questions about last night, about that party last night? All right. Well, should we let's see. Y'all are here. You must be here for some reason. What is it? You're looking for me to say something. So lead Yogi Chris. Okay, tap in right now. Commune with nature. I'm radiating. My radiation is interpenetrating the walls around me. And they blast apart like Mr. Universe, the blue guy, whatever his name was. And I see nature all around me. Just observing, breathing, relaxing at the same time. And that's it. And I keep doing that. It's like bubbles of thoughts pop up that represent what I'm seeing in a logical form. Sometimes I write them down. Oracle with his stern look, strong forehead, prominent jaw. Looks down his nose from the fuselage of an airplane. He nods approvingly, like the powerful man that he is. With the classic frown smile. You know, when you frown when you smile. So that was me tapping in. Tapping in, I was communing with what I was observing. Practicing. That's all you get though. All right, what else? Any comments, questions come up? We got Arslan in the house. Arslan's going to be the world's greatest car salesman ever. And then move on, who knows? He could sell anything, I think. It's all seduction, my friend. He reminds me of like, he'd be like a great salesman on like Tatooine if you ever, like from Star Wars. Something like that. Also, he'd be in a death metal rock band. Probably the lead singer. You look like the lead singer from System of a Down, dude. You just gotta do that. Jaime would be in the band with you. Kind of looks like he'd be in a band right now. Right? On my screen, he's right next to Arslan. They're like bandmates. The Prophet is a musician also, but he's not in that band. He's like some slam poetry, jazz, improv. He's part of it. He's the lead slam poet for this jazz improv fucking like either trio or like quintuplet or something that and he's like, spits on it. It's a nightclub with like purple lighting, and he's got his hat on, standing up on stage with his fucking cane, all blinged out. You know, hell yeah! And by day, he's a motivational speaker at schools everywhere. They call him in, fly him everywhere. Goes on tour, A lot of his slam poetry is about that, brings tears to the audience, opens their heart, reveals their souls. Okay. Martin got punched in the gut by AZD the other day on stream. That was funny. That was funny AF. Funny AF. Arslan, do you know what funny AF means?
No.
I don't want to tell you. When I first learned the F-bomb, I was like, how old? 5 or 6 or 7 or something. I went walking down the street yelling F-bomb. Like, fuck. All right. Is Alejandro messaging the group? Chris Agre was there. Okay, we got a bunch of people that were on, but so it's at, did I not post the link? What's the link for tonight's lecture? Okay, guys, 1 second. Let me post this. And we got 5 more minutes on this stream. I emailed it. Did I? Oh, shit. Oh, man. Okay. Freedom Congress postcat. We need the April Congress link. Where is it? Okay. Private moment. Matthew Tropsha at 8 p.m. PST in 20 minutes. Link. Post it, pin and notify all motherfucking members. Go back to Instagram Live where my stream has continued. All right, anybody? No questions, comments?
Are there any updates for IMC TV?
IMC TV is this logo I had come up with and asked AZD about, and I grabbed this Eric Tones design. He put it together. I said, make it like the MTV logo, but IMC TV. And so he did that, and it was dope. And so that was the YouTube channel. Then AZD noticed, and we, I'd always been working on like organizing. Master myself knows this, organizing everybody's streams. All the people in IMC Nation that have like a weekly stream, put it together as a calendar, like just so other people, new people that come in, and everybody sees when and where everybody's going live. They can join people's Telegram groups. Maybe there's a schedule. A lot of people don't run it on a schedule. This is not on a schedule. This was improv. And it had been changing the schedule. Like it used to be Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Mondays, Fridays, Sundays. That I did the podcast. So really having a Telegram group that you can communicate with. And then it's almost like having a Facebook group. But Facebook, for example, deleted my Enlightened Masculinity group. It's like 180 people in there. And one day it's just gone. So Telegram. Now, to stream on YouTube, you need 1,000 people to be able to stream. So, slowly growing my YouTube channel. When I tell AZD that, he's like, well, we just make a promotion for the YouTube channels I already have and just get all the audience to go to this channel. We could get it to 1,000 real fast. I was like, I never thought of that. So new channel, he wants the logo, doesn't want me handling the communication line so I don't get jammed. He's probably right. But I had a lot of ego attached to it. I've been working not that hard, really. I just kept putting it off on other people. But like I was talking about it for like months and months and months. So it was on my consciousness. And so he took that, then I wanted an apprentice. I was like, maybe I could get first dibs to apprentices. It's like, nah, just open it up to everybody. Good job. An apprentice picked it up. Proud of him. Joan. He actually messaged me after. He's like, hey man, is that all right? Like this and that. And I was like, yeah, man. Like, and you answered AZD now. It's like, he graduated. He's like a fledgling. He graduated. He's no longer in my little birdie flying school. No, I'm just kidding. That's fucked up. That's not even what it is. Not at all. But Joan was like, new and on the brink since I've known him, on the brink of being able to stick around. And so it's really nice to see him level up. He even asked me for a little favor and I gave him the favor and it's working out for him. Like, I think that's so cool. I feel honored to be a part of that graduation that he's going through. I think he's selling his house and moving, but we'll see. So Joan's running IMC TV. he'll handle all the communication lines, and he hits up everybody that he thinks worthy to have a stream or show or whatever. He's been to many apprentice meetings, so I'm sure, I mean, he's doing a great job with that. He hit me up once, and I think everybody gets 1 hour, 1 slot per week, something like that. And so I was like, I don't know what topic. Enlightened. I'll do what did I say? Evolutionary psychology. I basically decided I'll do an episode of Enlightened Masculinity as my show. It'll just be my solo like lecture. I don't know. It could be also guests. I don't even care. But I'm already doing the show. I'll just do another one of these shows because YouTube just posts a video. So I'll still just grab that audio and put it as an episode on my show. And I get exposed to all those people, the, you know, AZD's audience or whatever. He wants us taking that over. Hopefully everybody, I don't know, starts a YouTube channel or something. We got to get something, system framework down, like with Zay, maybe just a single landing page, or I don't know, it needs to be a whole conglomeration of like, I don't know what the point really, like you have to be able to grow on certain things to get that audience, or just be a master of, you know, the people in your life and you bring them into your social media. And so you stay in touch and, you know, whatever through your life history. I mean, at some point when I joined Facebook, I only had like 20, 30 friends. Like that was what it was in the beginning. And then it just built. So at some point I had met all those people throughout my life, and it just accumulated until I transitioned to, you know, Instagram. So if I just keep that in that social spirit. Oh, anyway, that's why I'm totally getting off track. So IMCTV, so he's hitting up everybody and he'll schedule it. Obviously, I don't think there's enough to fill, what is there, 24 hours times 7. It's kind of one of those numbers you should just always know, like how many hours in a week. Isn't it like 149 or something? I don't know. 156. What is that? If it was 25 times 7, it'd be 175. So just subtract 7 from that and it'll be 168. So 168 hours in a week. Weekly cycle, as we call it, a cycle. And I don't know that there's 168 tribal leaders that would do a stream. But that's the idea of like, get a bunch of people streaming on this thing. Some people are more popular than others, get more engagement, this and that, grow it, and, you know, grows from there. You know, potentially a bunch of new people come in and learn to communicate, just get on live, you know, see what's up with your audience. At some point I was going to Instagram live and it was 1 or 2 people. It's still 1 or 2 people, but now I'm also on Zoom and there's like 12 people. I could go this to Facebook and probably get 1 or 2 more. You know, it relies on, I don't know what it relies on. You know, I'm constantly figuring that out. But I think having a means to communicate directly and quickly with the audience, like a Telegram group, is essential. And, you know, showing up and actually doing it when you say you're going to do it. Just say you're going to do it, and, you know, have that conversation. And Martin knows immediately when he signs up for the next camp, he's going to be like, hey, yeah, I want to introduce myself. I am Martin from Denmark, and I am really admiring you. I want to be badass like you and get my game up and get my lifestyle up. Currently, I live and I make this amount of money, and or I do this occupation, and my passions are this and this and that, and I'm known for this and that, and I don't have a girlfriend. I have 1 girlfriend. I see 2 couple girls, and everybody around me ignore me, lame. I'm willing to move. I'm not willing to move. And I just want to introduce myself. I've been studying you for a long time. But this is the first time I'm saying hello. Okay. Martin, you want to unmute for just a minute? I have 10 seconds. I have to go. Everybody, this is Martin.
Yeah. Hello.
Hey.
You want me to say something or ask the question?
Where are you from? What's the thing you love most about life? And what do you want to change while you're with IMC?
Well, I'm from Denmark. What I love most is going to the garden, and well, I'm a landscaper, and
Nice.
I like especially fruit trees, growing fruit, fresh fruit, picking from the gardens. One of the things I know.
Nice.
And what I'm really about is becoming more free. That has been the thing for the longest time. I want to, you know, be more free, and I dare more and more each day, and so that's really the path that I've been on for the longest time.
Man, and it's like when you hop off an escalator and hop onto another one, but the second one's going faster. But you need to be going at the first one's speed to be able to jump onto the second one. You can't just jump onto the second one from the from ground. That's what's about to happen, I think, for you, my friend. All right, man. Stay in communication and look forward to your introduction. We're going to go to Matthew Troche's thing. I'm going to set up for that, everybody. Os.